Astria sat with her back against the wall, knees drawn up, arms wrapped loosely around them. Alicia lay beside her, shoulder pressed close, both of them quiet in the way people get after they did something and regretted it. Neither spoke at first. Astria finally exhaled.
I didn't think it would shake me like that.
Alicia turned her head slightly.
Anyone could have done the same thing if they were in your place.
Astria scoffed softly.
You say that like you believe it.
I do. You didn't do anything wrong. You were watching us have fun. You wish to feel wanted like the rest of us. There's nothing wrong with that.
Astria stared up at the sky, clouds still faintly glowing from the city's charge.
I just don't like the way it ended up. I thought I was better than that.
Alicia didn't answer right away. She shifted closer, their shoulders touching fully now.
Don't worry, we deal with it. Together.
Astria nodded once. Across the room, the tone was very different. Magma sat on a chair, spear resting beside him, rocking slightly with a grin he had not earned. Godok sat opposite him, elbows on his knees, shield leaning uselessly against the wall. Magma clicked his tongue.
So let me get this straight. You chat boldly, you drop lyrics like scripture, and still end up looking like somebody shat in your cereal?
Godok didn't look up.
You are enjoying this too much.
Guilty. But listen, real talk. Do you know what went wrong?
Godok frowned.
You know.
Magma laughed hard, then stopped suddenly with a playful expression.
It's not what you think.
Godok looked at him.
What do you mean?
Magma pointed at his head.
That.
Godok looked at him confused.
My head?
Actually, your hair. Bro, a clean cut can elevate a man or make women make very poor decisions.
Godok stared at him.
You're serious.
As a heart attack. Trust me, bro.
He looked around the plaza for a bit. From somewhere nearby, a passing voice drifted through the air.
Get a sharp cut up at Matopeni village, currently accepting money or chickens.
Godok's head snapped toward the sound.
A chicken?
Magma's grin widened.
You hear that too, right?
Astria glanced over.
Did he just say chicken?
Alicia lifted her head.
Like live chicken?
The voice faded into the crowd, leaving the idea behind like bait. Godok stood up slowly, straighter than he had all night.
A haircut before church wouldn't hurt, especially if we are carrying Astria there.
Astria looked at him.
You don't have to.
I want to. We all walking in that church clean.
Godok stood up.
Come, I know the way.
Alicia squinted at him through the glasses.
You know the way? Or you feel like you know the way?
Godok started walking already, a hint of hopefulness in his eyes.
Same thing.
Magma followed. Knowing full well Godok has no idea where he's going and relying solely on confidence, Astria and Alicia exchanged a look, then stood up and went with them. The far day lines thinned first, noise dropping out in layers, the hum fading into a distant vibration. Concrete gave way to cracked roads to packed dirt. Astria noticed it before anyone else.
The air feels different.
Alicia confirmed.
Yeah, the tingling on my chest is gone.
Godok walked at the front, steady, like he actually knew where he was going. This wasn't a deep bush, this was used land. Low scrub, wide open dirt patches, grass trampled flat into spirals and circles like something had been pacing here for years. Feathers littered the ground, stiff and broken, Astria slowed fast.
This place feels weird.
Godok was about to answer when Magma pointed ahead.
There they are.
They were not spread out or moving much at all. Hands clustered tight in the center, heads low, bodies angled inward, and at the edge, something tall shifted. The grass bowed as it stepped forward. The creature was quite tall for a chicken and compact like a coiled spring. It has a red spiked comb with red wattles beneath the beak. Its legs are packed with muscle and charged up with electricity due to its proximity to the electric forest. Talons dug into the ground and every line of its body saying, "Touch them if you bad." Astria stared at it for a moment.
What kind of chicken is that?
Magma nodded.
Yeah, that looks like something from the prehistoric era.
The creature turned its head. One eye locked onto them, and it stepped forward. Gadok was already preparing to intercept.
Don't expect any treat, you flimsy dinofowl.
Astria frowned.
Are you sure you can handle that beast?
This forsaken chicken dinner? Easily.
The dino fowl screeched loudly, sharp like tearing metal. Godok took one step forward and shouted.
Hey, all of these hens are going in a jerk pan.
The chickens froze.
You really start with insults, huh?
Gadok pointed at the dino fowl.
You look like you taste good with ketchup and pepper.
The dino fowl charged in an instant upon hearing that last threat. It crossed the distance in a blur, dot exploding behind it.
He's on your left.
But it was too late. The dino fowl was on Gadok before he blinked. The impact slammed Gadok back 3 full steps. His shield rang like a struck bell. Elysia flinched.
That thing did not like those insults, gee.
Astria was already moving. She shot a few rounds on the ground. Metal fragments buried in the dot snapped upright. Invisible pressure pushed outward. The dino fowl skidded sideways, claws digging trenches. Magma pointed.
Looks like the princess still has her head on her body.
Astria shot him a look.
Place a trap there.
Magma added lightly, nodding left. She did it without complaint. Alicia fired arcs of electricity, not at the bird but along the ground and through the air, forcing it to veer. The dino fowl screamed again, wings snapping open. A gust tore through the clearing. Godok planted his feet.
My dinner is really fighting back, but I like my meat dead.
The chicken leapt, followed by Magma, who has faint electric sparks around his body. One clean step and a brutal swing. The spear slammed into its side with a crack that echoed through the trees. The dino fowl staggered but didn't fall. Magma cursed.
Rotty! That's tough like the breadfruit Astria made.
The creature reared back and howled. The sound rippled outward and through the trees, scrub, and broken fences.
Dozens of smaller chickens charged into motion.
Astria's eyes widened.
That's a lot of hens.
Elysia smiled.
They're answering it.
The idea of fried chicken was clearly written on her face. Magma exhaled slowly.
Alright, new plan.
Gadok taunted the dino fowl again.
More chickens just mean a bigger meal for me and the team.
Magma shouted to him.
Keep pinning the big one. They are converging on you. I'll clean them up.
Godok marched forward, shield raised. The dino fowl met him head on. Godok slammed the shield against the dino fowl, stopping its charge. Then with his rubber arms, he stretched his arms around the fowl and held it squarely in place in a deadly embrace. The smaller chickens swarmed him in an attempt to get the fowl free. Magma moved to intercept. A sweeping arc of the spear cleared a good portion of the chickens. Electric sparks could be seen for a brief moment. However, due to his increased speed from the electricity in his body, he lost his footing due to the sheer number of the chickens.
Okay, I'm not used to this speed as yet.
Elysia shouted.
Are you an idiot? Move out of the rat's way.
Magma noticed she was seriously pissed and quickly moved. Astria calmly looked through her scope.
Enough. Let's end this, shall we?
She lifted a rifle. The coils along the barrel lit up, one after the other, and a blue light ran between the coils as if it was charging. Astria pulled the trigger. The sound the gun made wasn't a boom but a crack. A projectile punched through the air and the ground burst apart where it hit. Dirt flew. Feathers exploded upward and chickens were thrown back like toys kicked across a yard. Godok took a small hit that knocked the wind right out of him. The dino fowl made its last scream. Then it slammed into the dirt and slid, carving a long line through the soil. Everything went quiet. The blue lights on the gun faded the same time feathers drifted down. Godok sucked in a breath through his teeth. Elysia rushed to him immediately with one hand on his back, electricity running through his body.
That looked like it knocked the wind out of you, but it doesn't appear you've taken any real damage. You'll be fine. I wish it was another idiot that got the hit instead.
Godok was struggling to speak, so he nodded. Magma walked over, staring at the wreckage.
Oi, princess! I never knew you had that kind of firepower.
Astria lowered the rifle.
I didn't. I figured I could use that power to replicate a coil gun I wanted to make.
The mention of power reminded her of what happened yesterday, and she felt guilty again. Elysia glanced up at her.
You okay?
I think so.
Good, because next time I'm charging you for my leadership.
Godok laughed weakly. The smell of dust and scorched earth hung low, mixed with something warm and familiar. Chickens. Magma nudged one of the smaller bodies with his boot.
So, who wants to tell the barber we ruined his entire supply?
Elysia glanced around, counting quickly. Her mouth twisted.
There's one intact. Should we keep it and give him the dead ones?
Godok looked down at the dinofowl's body, then at the scattered mess of wings, legs, and regret. Nothing was in a complete form.
No, they're unusable.
Astria sighed.
We overdid it.
Princess, you overdid it.
You wanted to finish the fight, right?
I didn't mean to erase the population.
Elysia crouched and lifted one of the chickens. It squawked weakly, missing feathers, pride, and most of its will to live.
Well, one chicken alive. That counts.
Godok, now able to breathe, chimed in.
The barber said chicken, didn't say how many.
Exactly. Negotiation starts now.
They tied the chicken's legs gently with vines. It glared at them the entire time with deep resentment before they continued. The path narrowed as they walked, scrub turning into foot-worn dirt. The village announced itself with zinc fences, worn boards, and rusted nails. Kingstone City could be seen in the distance. Then they saw it, a cardboard sign nailed off balanced Afro-fade skirt. Bring money or bring chicken. Below it, drawn in marker, was a stick figure with a perfect fade and a confused expression. Magma stopped dead, laughing.
At least we know we're at the right spot.
Godok looked up at the sign.
I trust the process.
No, this isn't something I would trust.
The barber shop wasn't a shop in the traditional term. Built from zinc sheets, scrap wood, and open on all sides. A single chair sat in the center, old and metal. A mirror leaned against a post, reflecting the world in pieces. And behind the chair, the Baba. Slightly disheveled beard with pink lips. A black t-shirt with a plaid button shirt over it and white pants. He wore a straw hat that seemed to radiate some kind of energy and a wristband in multiple colors. Behind him were no clippers, but a chisel, hammer, razors, a water bottle, charcoal, sticks, a shovel with extremely sharp edges, a blowgun, nails, a lighter, and a nimcha. Magma blinked.
Why does he have a shovel?
Alicia corrected.
The bigger question is, why does he have a sword?
The barber looked up slowly. His eyes flicked to the chicken, then to Godok's head. Then he smiled. Then he remembered smiling is for the weak and quickly went back to a neutral expression before saying,
These are all the equipment I use for haircuts. What? Only ever seen people getting haircuts with clippers or something.
He suppressed another smile. Godok asked,
You're the barber that takes chicken.
The one they call fades, yes. I accept chicken since they are in hot demand at the moment.
Magma burst out laughing.
Hold on, boss. You planning on cutting Godrock's hair with his sword?
Not needed, unless of course he plans on getting a design in his hair. But even then, it wouldn't be this sword. That one I'm holding on to as payment.
Magma joked.
From who? An assassin?
Fades replied dead serious.
Yes, actually, how did you know?
I didn't. I was joking.
Well, don't worry about it. Don't piss off the Alliance and you have nothing to worry about. Now let me see the chicken.
Alicia handed over the bird. The barber accepted it with reverence, tied it to a post, then gestured for Godok to sit. He lit one of the sticks until it had a low flame and placed gently above Godok's hair to burn some of the dead hairs off. Afterwards, he drew for his mighty shovel. Astria gasped,
Wait,
but it was too late. Hair fell in a clean sheet. Magma howled.
Kiss me neck.
The barber walked without rushing. The shovel's edges were extremely sharp. His hair came off with ease and very little resistance. Then he drew for the chisel and hammer for a more closer and precise cut. Each hammering of the chisel knocked off Godok's worries. Godok stared straight ahead, eyes wide at first but trusting the process. He began feeling his confidence returning and began closing his eyes. The barber placed a water bottle, a razor, and a comb down next. Once he confirmed the hair was at an acceptable level, he drew for the water bottle and sprayed his hair so the razor could just slide. He confidently stated,
This razor is the sharpest in the village.
Godok flinched, but Elysia calmed him down.
If anything happens, I can fix it. Don't worry.
The barber's straw hat started releasing a warm glow. His focus became laser-like and his hands became more surgical than a surgeon. He then started fading, adjusting the razor over the comb and the comb over the hair. Afterwards, he started on his hairline, ensuring it's as straight as an African arrow. Godok felt his confidence return to its original state, but the barber was not finished. Finally, he applied what he calls an elbow technique, which gave Godok a full 360 waves in his hair. Finally, applying some charcoal on his hairline to give it some color, and Godok was ready. When it was done, Fade stepped back. He handed Godok the mirror. Godok looked at himself.
Oh,
Magma whistled low.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Elysia smiled.
That haircut could make me feel things.
Astria crossed her arms, studying him.
I assume you're back to normal with that expression.
Godok stood slowly.
I feel like I need to go shopping.
Alicia and Astria look extremely confused. Astria was the first to ask.
What are you...
Magma cut her off.
I understand. We'll go later.
They gave each other a hug. Alicia before dog asked Astria.
What the hell am I looking at?
Astria was dumbfounded, but she replied.
I don't get it either, but let's leave them alone.
The barber nodded, satisfied.
He came looking bush and now leaves pef.
The chicken clucked once. Alicia asked,
Why did you accept chicken as payment?
Simple chickens are becoming a rare commodity thanks to a food giant called Kingston Fowl Cub, or KFC for short. I plan on making a chicken farm for myself as well to sell to them as a side gig.
Kingston Fowl Cub? I've never heard of them.
The barber looked shocked.
It's an extremely big company. The people at the Summoner Center especially love it.
Summoner Center?
The barber smiled but quickly went back to a neutral expression. Alicia's curiosity got the better of her.
Why do you keep hiding your smile?
Because smiling is for the weak. Our village elder smiled one time. He smiled, and that smile grew into a laugh, and then...
He paused with a disappointed expression.
He let one rip right in front of the village. Ever since that day, all sorts of curses and bad omen befell us. Animals died, people became disabled, and our luck seems to turn for the worse.
Astria folded her arms.
That sounds like complete superstition, or a coincidence.
Call it what you will, but all I know from that day, the village men are never seen smiling. Our saving grace is the church up ahead. It has been an excellent ward against evil spirits, and so people frequent it, especially the Summoner Center workers.
Alicia asked,
Why would they be going there?
You'll see when you get there. The church also allows our little village here to exist alongside Kingston.
What do you mean?
Notice how there isn't any lightning affecting us despite us being in close proximity to a lightning field? Hell, we're even using discarded zinc and nails that should kill us 9 times over.
Now that you brought it up, it did seem a bit convenient how there was no lightning as soon as we left the city.
Well, for unknown reasons, lightning refuses to hit the church. We've just been benefiting from that fact. This is practically a dumping ground we've built homes out of.
What about the government?
He hissed his teeth and spat in disgust.
I don't want to talk about them.
Anger and disappointment clearly written on his face.
If you want to visit the church, it's back in the forest. Look for a path guided by candles.
He started looking for something but warned them.
Oh, and one final piece of advice. Try not to wear any orange or green, ever.
With that warning, he went behind the shop and sat on a crate. His mood clearly turned sour like weak old milk. Astria was the first to break the silence.
Something must be going on with the government, since Marubeni also had an unfavorable opinion of them.
Yeah, not really sure what's going on, but we do know where the church is.
Godog grabbed Alicia before she was able to take back the chicken and said,
Let's go. I can find the church.
The four headed back to the forest, a clear goal in mind and renewed confidence in Godog.